Boxing King Media in association with the Box Raw with me, Shane McGuigan. Shane, I just thought for a moment you're going to start singing along.
Nah, definitely not. Nah, I'm not one for karaoke.
AZIM finally makes his ring return. How's the hand? Fully healed? Expect no problems?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time. You know, that hand was just an unfortunate thing. So, but it's all recovered and it's all ready and set to go for Saturday night. He's looked brilliant in sparring. He's had no issues, no niggles. So it's been a great camp, and I think it's an interesting fight for Adam, and it's a fight that he's going to reflect back on when he goes further on in his career and say, that was a learning fight, it was a fight I needed at this stage of my career. And even if it goes reasonably early, it's still a fight that he needs at this stage of his career, because it's a guy that's only lost once, here to win, bringing a big team with him, fighting for a nation. Lots of things that are factors in this fight for Fanian. So yeah.
Is it a good thing that also he's not headlining his own show? He's got a bit of a break, because sometimes there's a lot of spotlight on Adam.
Yeah, but this is a proper boxing crowd. Do you know what I mean? These are guys passionate here. Anyone that tunes into Sky Sports as well, pay-per-view, they love their boxing. So, and this fight is generating a lot of attention, Eubank versus Smith. So, and we're on right before it. So he's going to have a lot of eyeballs, maybe even arguably more eyeballs if he was headlining. So, I think it's a great show, and it's one that he's privileged to be a part of. And also, I think this is where every fighter wants to end up. They want to end up headlining pay-per-view events or fighting for world titles, and it shows. He was on the Kell Brook versus Amir Khan undercard, but quite far down on it. Now he's chief supporter in a title fight, so he's slowly climbing that ladder.
I spoke to Ben Shalom last night, and he said that it's no secret that the European title is what we want next. Dalton Smith's got an injury. I know Eddie has spoken about Dalton getting that title shot. So are we talking about after this fight, the European title next?
We'll have to wait and see. Obviously the deals are never done until they're over the line. So most important thing, we've got a very hard test on Saturday night. Someone I think actually is probably arguably a harder fight than the European champion. So get our full focus onto this, and then we'll see see how he comes through it, and if there's no injuries, no cuts, no nothing, then we'll set our sights on the next fight.
What are your thoughts on the main event?
I think I'm leaning towards a repeat, to be honest. I think at this stage of their career, I think it favours the guy that's coming up in the weight, the guy that's not struggling at the weight. They're both. Liam's 35, Eubank's 33, I think he is. They've both been in the professional game a long time, so one's been cutting the weight right down to 160, and then he went up to 168, arguably had his most success up at 168, looked the best at 168, then coming back down in weight, doing that cut as well down to try and do that Conor Benn weight as well. It's just, I think these are all factors that's going to lie in Liam Smith's favour. I originally thought Eubank was going to beat him on points in the first fight. But the way it all unfolded, just one person looked so comfortable in there and the other one didn't. And it doesn't matter who's in your corner. I think at this stage, I don't think 160 is suiting Eubank. So I think my money's going to be on Liam Smith, probably stoppage.
Come on, be fair! In terms of the link up with Bomac, 4.5 weeks, enough time or not enough time?
It's never enough time. That's a novelty. It's like going to a library and buying a book and not reading it. You know what I mean? You need time to read that book. You need time to digest that information. That's not going to be any factors.
Shane, just want to go back to the weekend. A fighter you previously trained, fight Daniel Dubois fighting Alexander Usyk. We'll come to the low blow in a moment, but just the ultimate assessment of the fight itself.
I thought Daniel was looking all right in patches of it. I think he was not pressing the fight the way he should have been. He was letting Usyk back him up, giving far too much ground. Was waiting, and you can't do that with a guy with his good feints and his good pressure and his foot pressure. It's like he's nudging in on his front foot, he's taking it aside, he's feinting the whole time, and that's just keeping you occupied. Daniel's never seen anything like that, so he's done well for literally being thrown in from a certain level into that top elite level, and to get through 9 rounds. So he's done well to do that. But was he in the fight? Once or twice, but not really. He didn't throw enough combinations looking for single shots. And you can't do that with a guy like Usyk. You need to you know, the whole thing is you need to hit something. You hit arms, you hit body. You have to press the fight. You back him up. Don't let him control the pace. So he didn't do a lot of those things. So, you know, it'd be a good learning fight for him. That was something that, you know, he can take away from it, but it's also going to dent his confidence even more.
Shane, when we spoke last time, you said you had a plan for Daniel to fight Usyk in a certain way. What would you have changed had you been in the corner?
A lot. I would have forced a much smaller ring. I would have been on the referee a lot more. But listen, that was never a fight that I would have. If I was managing Daniel, I would never have really wanted that fight for him. He's 25 years of age. That was a fight where people have asked, you know, been wanting him to take that and hoping and wishing that he won it with a shot, so then they can go and make a load of money with Fury, because they can control Daniel, they can't control Usyk. So, you know, all along we knew where the, you know, we knew where the focus was, and really you got to look at the person. Like, Daniel had knee surgery, he got dropped 3 times. Even though one was a legitimate shot, he got dropped 2 more times after that. Got up, pulled a fantastic shot out of the bag, was injured at the end of it. Showed, you know, people might not have thought that he showed metal, but he did. He showed loads of metal to get through that first round against Lorena and overturn it. But your confidence is down. You're going in there with a new knee and all these sort of things. It was never lying in his favour, going out to Poland in front of all those fans. Like, you know, it just wasn't the right move for him to take that fight, in my opinion. But, you know, they gambled to be great and it didn't pay off for them.
Eddie Hearn said that Daniel's been thrown in the depths too soon. So what you just said, you're aligning yourself to those words as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think the Joe Joyce fight was a measured fight, and I think that was something that, you know, he'd done a sparring with him up in GB in Sheffield, and he felt like he probably was going to chin him. But that's different. Usyk's different. You know, then, you know, you've got to, you know, the whole team is convincing themselves that it was the right thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And that's when it's normally not the right thing to do.
Shane, ultimately, from the other side, I understand what you've just said, but from the other side, could you understand that there's a lot of money at stake, an opportunity to fight for 3 belts? He's young and he can come again if he loses.
Yeah, I hope he can come again. You know what I mean? It's like he can learn from that, but you've got to look at it the right way to learn from it. You know what I mean? You can't just keep your head down, put your head in the sand. So we'll see how he comes back from it.
Shane, you work very closely with him. There were a lot of comments online. People said that he didn't really want it anymore after that 9th round. I'm not going to use the word quit, but people online are saying he quit. You've known him for a while now. What is he like as a fighter, and did he not want to be in that fight any longer?
No, you can't say that. Yeah, I genuinely don't think you can say that. I mean, like, he was in there 9 rounds in against one of the most pound for pound best fighters on the planet. Yes, Usyk's not a one-punch knockout artist, but look at what he done to Tony Bellew. He can take people out. He holds power, like, and he hits you with a volume of shots, and he exhausts you. He gets you into a tired state, and then he starts loading up. So Daniel was in a tired state. He wasn't getting much success. You don't quit. Like, that's not quitting. That's the accumulation of volume. He got hit with about 5 or 6 unanswered punches just before that, and then got hit with a good solid jab. So took his time. You know, got up at 9. It's 9 and out. Some people think it's 9, 10 and out. So I don't know. I just don't think he could get his foot into the fight. You know, and when you can't get your foot into the fight, that's not. You know, it's like, yeah, he was out of his depth.
Dubois team are disappointed with the referee in regards to that punch that he landed. Frank Warren said he will appeal. In your opinion, I'm not going to lie, Shane, but I've spoken to so many people this week, and even with still pictures and slow-mo videos, people are still split. What are your thoughts?
You don't know until you're Usyk, because the cup sits out, so the cup probably got hit and dragged up. And when the cup gets hit and dragged up, it's not the same. It's the trajectory of the shot. If it's coming from low to high, you can drag the cup. Even if you hit the cup protector, you can still drag the cup up, and that can catch your nads. So, like, you don't know until your person actually receiving the shot. And he turned away, and he didn't go, oh, I'll go straight down. He turned himself away, then went down. If the referee just starts saying 1, 2, these are all the questions that we can't answer, you know. Would he have got up? Would he not? Like, it's down to the referee's discretion, and really he just didn't do, like, he did the right thing if it was a low blow, but then he didn't do the right thing if, you know, he should have started count. So It's just if there was a history of it in the AJ fight, then you get another referee. The management and the promoter gets another referee. You know what I mean? You get someone like that's going to be fair and firm.
John Charles labelled Usyk a cheater, compared him to someone who takes PEDs. Is that just raw emotion?
Definitely raw emotion. I like Don. Me and him are good friends, but he's not a cheat. Like, he's probably one of the most honourable people out there, Usyk, you know. He's a boxing purist, and he spent a long time in the amateurs, and the amateurs are very safe. Like, if there's a low blow, they give you time, and they even, like, if you get hit with a good shot in the amateurs, they might give you a count. They correct your head guard back in the day. This is a professional game. It's a dog-eat-dog world. But he did what he needed to do to get through that situation. So, and the referee, it's all on the referee, in my opinion. You know, how many fighters do you see say, "Oh, that one hit me low," or "He's hitting on the break," and then they complain about it, and then it's down to the referee to say, "Stop fucking moaning," or "That wasn't low." So he took his 5 minutes, or whatever it was, 4 minutes. You get up to 5 minutes, but he took his four minutes of time because you're allowed that.
I spoke to the referee immediately after the fight, and I said, "You've seen the replay. Has your mind changed?" And he stuck by his decision. He goes, "Absolutely not. That was low."
Yeah, I mean, like, Usyk's was like, his navel was on the belt line, so it's normally they'll say to you, like, cup's a bit high, belt's in play, cup's in the right position, belt's a low blow. So it's just down to what those rules were in the change rooms, really, so which we don't know, so it's hard for us to say.
Usyk Fury, does that fight, based on Usyk's latest performance, has your mind changed, or is Fury still too big?
Fury's massive, he's very big, and he won't stand off, he'll probably take it to him. But it's not an easy fight. It's not. If it was an easy fight, it would have been made months ago. It's not an easy fight. Fury's not a fool. He makes easy fights literally in a drop of a hat. When they're hard fights, he sits and dwells on them. So yeah, I think that in itself answers that question.
Shane, appreciate your time, and we'll see you tomorrow at the press conference.
Cheers, thanks, mate.